and welcome back to ASD A New Perspective, the podcast show where we help you understand the mind of your child, and we encourage you that growth for your child is possible. Last time, Dr. Steve Gutstein explained to us what happens to infants diagnosed with ASD, and he emphasized that ASD infants are motivated to maintain stability, and he reminded us of their lack of engagement with their parents who are desperately trying to promote their growth. In today's show, Dr. Gutstein encourages parents with a hopeful message about the potential for growth in their child.
It comes down to this. Every person with ASD is a human being, which often implicitly they're not considered to be by many people who treat them as, as if they were somehow aliens or not like other people. And they're just human beings. They're human beings who, because of vulnerabilities, right, certain things have happened to them. They haven't, those intrinsic drives that we have haven't emerged. They're there. How do we know that those intrinsic drives are there? Because they're there. They're basic human drives. They're built into us through evolution, through millions of years. They're not something that are just going to vanish. And we also know from our own evidence, from having worked in this field, and what we've done in RDI, that they're there. So that we know that we can provide experiences, right, that will foster the emergence of these intrinsic motivations for growth, for agency, for relatedness. And once those strong motivations emerge, things become dramatically different in living with, relating to, helping people on the spectrum. They become active, excited co-participants, not objects of our interventions. Right? And that changes the whole game. So, to me, it doesn't matter to me if that child has intellectual disability, sensory motor, things, epilepsy. Every person has the potential for those types of motivations, for those intrinsic motivations to emerge despite their handicaps. It doesn't mean that everyone is going to achieve the same quality of life. It doesn't mean everyone's going to get the same job or whatever. But everyone has the potential to seek out growth and continue to want to grow throughout their life. And that's what we've seen with our people we've worked with ASD, is that can emerge even in our children who have the most severe co-occurring problems. Yes, of course, we'd love them not to have them, but it's not the obstacle to growth. And so there's hope for every family and every child. We also know that families do make a difference, that these impairments that we see down the line that are the most handicapping impairments, when we look at where in typical development, how they emerge, how they are developed, these abilities are products of the parent-child guiding, what we call the guiding relationship. The ability to help children to experience their world in more and more sophisticated, integrated ways, to be able to develop personal knowledge, interpersonal knowledge, to be able to develop their mental processing, that all those things occur through this sort of tutelage that implicitly occurs, intuitively occurs day by day in families, that these children with ASD lose the benefit of because of their own vulnerabilities. And yet their parents are more than capable of providing them with the guidance they need. What we want to do is to help parents to provide experiences for these children that, despite their vulnerabilities, they can start to perceive this relationship as powerful for them, as positive for them, as a pathway that they can engage with, that they can enter and become partners with in terms of development and become excited about. And we know we can do that. We have to provide experiential memories. We have to provide opportunities for children to perceive themselves in new ways and perceive themselves and their guides in new ways. And by doing those, by constructing those opportunities, we make a huge difference. We don't cure everything, but we change the nature of the relationship. We change the nature of what this child is going to be desiring all day long, and who they're going to be wanting to be with, and how they're going to want to be with it. And it makes everything different. Once those intrinsic motivations emerge, then we're on the road to reaching that child's potential, whatever that is, their innate potential, which is going to be different for everyone. But boy, that's the truth. And so, of course, it's exciting. And hopefully there's no hopelessness. I don't care how impaired that child is in other areas besides their autism. There's no reason to feel hopeless. That those things occur for everyone. They're human beings. And if we can just start with that assumption and understand, okay, what is built into every human being and how do we access that, which is there, it's not missing for these children, then there's no reason not to be hopeful, is there? We can all be hopeful.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gutstein. And thank you for joining us for ASD, A New Perspective, the podcast where we help you understand what is going on in the mind of your child. And join us in the continued journey as we encourage you that growth is possible. I'm your host, Kat Lee. See you next time.